Today we're going to be looking at vitamin B12 and why it's so important, particularly when following a plant-based diet. So vitamin B12 is one of those nutrients that you have to be aware of when you leave animal products behind. It's essential for human health and it isn't found naturally in plant-based foods. Luckily, the risks associated with a B12 deficient diet are generally pretty well known in vegan and vegetarian circles. Now, while it can take several years to deplete the stores of B12 in the body, a deficiency can be catastrophic for your health and eventually can even lead to death. Vitamin B12 is essential for a wide range of processes in your body, and here are just a few. The creation of red blood cells, which deliver oxygenated blood around the body, the creation of DNA, the maintenance and the normal functioning of the brain and the nervous system, the prevention of cognitive decline and depression, and helping to keep our bones strong and prevent the onset of osteoporosis. So who is at risk from a B12 deficiency? Well, perhaps surprisingly, vitamin B12 deficiency is thought to be pretty well widespread. Some estimates even suggest that almost 40% of the US population are either deficient or have suboptimal levels of B12. So it's not just something which affects people on a plant-based diet. In fact, many lifestyle choices can decrease B12 levels, such as excessive alcohol consumption and stress and taking birth control pills, and also some pre-existing conditions like kidney or liver issues. But those on a vegan diet need to pay special attention because the only common dietary sources of B12 are animal products like meat and eggs and dairy. There are no naturally occurring plant-based sources of significant amounts of B12. So the research is clear. Vegans who don't supplement with B12 will eventually become deficient. Now, how long that takes will vary from individual to individual, but it will happen. For some, it can take years before a deficiency occurs. For others, the symptoms develop much sooner. But the good news is you can make sure you're getting enough B12 by simply supplementing your diet starting today, even if you're not 100% plant-based. We'll get on to how to do that in just a minute. If you have one or more of the risk factors for decreased B12 levels in addition to adopting a plant-based diet, then it's important you work with a medical doctor, a nutritionist or other healthcare professional to ensure your B12 levels remain healthy. So what are the symptoms of B12 deficiency? Well, some of the possible symptoms are fatigue, hair loss, memory loss and confusion, depression, joint pain and muscular weakness, balance issues, a rapid or irregular heartbeat, and gastrointestinal and cardiovascular issues. Now, if you have any of those symptoms or you're concerned about your B12 levels or any other health issues, then of course please speak to your doctor or medical health professional. So let's look at how you get enough B12 in your diet and avoid deficiencies. So while B12 isn't available in any naturally occurring plant-based sources, there are two key ways for vegan to make sure that they get enough in their diets. The first is by taking a regular supplement, and the second is by eating foods which are fortified with vitamin B12. So while there are no naturally occurring plant-based foods containing B12, you can buy foods which have been fortified with B12, and that means that very simply that they've had B12 added to them. Now, we've included a handy guide in your resource section that you can download which explains more. So no matter what you've heard about a plant-based diet containing everything you need, B12 is one of those nutrients that you have to take care of. An open letter from a number of concerned health professionals and organisations stated, in over 60 years of vegan experimentation, only B12 fortified foods and B12 supplements have proven themselves as reliable sources of B12 capable of supporting optimal health. Before we finish, I just want to say a couple of things about how our bodies absorb B12. When planning any diet, we should remember that it's not the amount of a nutrient that we eat that counts, but rather the amount of that nutrient which our bodies absorb. Now, over the next few weeks, we're going to be looking at how to prepare or combine different foods so that our body is able to get the most nutritional value from them. Now, if that's a new concept to you, you might be surprised to learn that how you prepare your food makes a massive difference in how much nutrition you actually take from it. But for now, the important thing to remember is this, that our bodies can only absorb a limited amount of B12 at any one time. Now, for those of you that want to take a deeper dive into B12 absorption, we've created a B12 absorption guide for you to download, and you'll find that in the resources section. But for now, I'll just focus on how to make sure we're getting enough B12 into our bodies in a way that our bodies can use and benefit from. So, to make sure we cover all our bases, we should incorporate B12 in a number of different forms at different times throughout the day. So, if you include some B12 fortified foods in your diet, you should try to spread them out throughout the day. If you're taking a supplement, experts advise taking larger doses so that your body can absorb the amount that it needs. For example, taking 1,000 milligrams 2 to 3 times a week is a common way for vegans to avoid a deficiency. You can search online for one that suits you or go to your local pharmacy. There are plenty of low-cost quality options available. So, in summary, vitamin B12 is essential for good health, and deficiencies can cause serious health issues. There are no naturally occurring plant-based sources of B12, and while B12 deficiency is widespread, it should be of special concern when on a plant-based diet. So, to avoid a deficiency, eat foods which are fortified with B12 and spread them out throughout the day. And experts recommend taking a supplement of 1,000 milligrams of B12 around 3 times a week. Remember, if you have any concerns about this or any other health issues, you should always check in with your health professional. And remember, a summary of these health sections can be found in your weekly cheat sheet. We hope you found this useful, and we'll see you in the next video.